Hey everybody, Dr. Shook here. I hope you're doing well today. Just making sure everything is working, but I hope you all have been doing well. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about something that I've been experiencing over the past 3 weeks, and it's something that I know a lot of other people experience. And I've been exercising, weight training, resistance training regularly for a few years, and over the past 3 weeks, I had some really um, unusual things start to happen. I started to feel extremely fatigued. I didn't feel like I had any motivation. I just felt exhausted. And I started thinking like, okay, what's going on here? What am I missing? Why do I feel this way? And it was something that kind of began and was a subtle process. Hey, Anna, I hope you're doing well. Um, so so what I started doing was investigating, like trying to figure out like, okay, what is wrong? Why do I feel like I have such low energy? Why is it that I have like no motivation to exercise? When I started exercising, I would fatigue more quickly. I wouldn't be able to complete my workouts. And I was trying to figure out exactly what was going on. So I started to look at everything. This is one of the important reasons that you want to keep data. You want to track what you're doing day to day. So, one of the things I started doing was looking at my nutrition, looking at my sleep, looking at things that I was doing day to day. What had changed? What was different? And this is really important. So I started looking at my nutrition. Yes, I had been doing a slightly lower carbohydrate diet, but that didn't account for it because I'd done that before. And so I was pretty sure that wasn't it. Though I did increase my carbohydrates just a little bit to see if that would improve my energy levels, which it didn't really change them. And so I didn't really think it was the carbs. So this was about a 3 week process. I felt terrible and did not have what I would call a neurological drive. Even when I would take pre-workout supplements or I would consume caffeine, I still did not feel the same. So something was up. So, I was looking through everything and I started looking through, I looked at my lifestyle, I looked at my diet. And when I looked at my diet, all of my protein, my fats, and my carbohydrates were where they should be. So that what didn't really make sense. So I started looking on MyFitnessPal, where I track all my food. I started looking at my micronutrients. I started to look at my sodium intake, basically my electrolytes, and I noticed that my sodium intake was not as high as it really should be. And then I started researching what I want to talk about first, and that was my sodium intake, my salt intake. And I started doing some research on the amount of salt that you will actually excrete when you're exercising and you're sweating a lot. And when I work out, my workouts usually personally take about, an hour and 10 minutes. Usually I'll do a 20-minute warm up. And, I'm going to do another video on warm up because you might think 20 minutes is a long period of time, but that's just to get my core temperature up. And I can measure that and I monitor that by looking at a biometric called muscle oxygen saturation. And so I know when I'm warmed up based on the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide within my tissues. So I know that. So I know it takes me about 20 minutes. So I warm up for 20 minutes and then I work out. My workouts take me usually about 50 minutes. And I sweat a lot. And so I started to think, okay, my sodium intake's a little bit low. And then I've been outside a lot. I've been at the pool and I have been working outside and I've been sweating a lot. So I started looking into this. And, when I was doing some research, I came across this great book and I believe it's called The Salt Fix. And I was reading about professional soccer players. When they play for like an hour, they can lose up to 6 grams of salt in that hour. And because of the amount of sweating that they're doing. So I started looking at this and I started contemplating, man, is this an issue with electrolytes? And so I started supplementing with salt a little bit more. And that in and of itself has made a huge difference in my exercise performance, the way I feel, everything. Simply electrolytes. So let's go through some of the list of things here because it's more than just that, but this is a really important point. Hope you're all doing well. Hey, yeah. So, yeah, this is a really important topic. This is an important topic for a lot of people. So, all right. So, 5 reasons people have bad workouts and what to do about it. Okay. So number one. Let's see if I can step out of the way. I'm having to use handheld microphone today. My lapel mics are not picking up for some reason, so something's up. But hopefully this works. Hopefully you can hear me okay. So number one is going to be the first thing is going to be salt. Okay, the number one reason that your workouts are not good, that you're not motivated, that you feel exhausted, and this is really, I work with a lot of people that have fatigue issues, and a lot of times we're looking at their thyroid hormones, and we're looking at adrenal glands and adrenal function. But one of the things that I've as I was reading through this book, and I believe it's called The Salt Fix, fantastic book. Really, I really enjoyed it. So much information in there about salt in and of itself that contradicts a lot of the mainstream thinking. I think the book's about 2 years old, but fantastic book. So what I started to do was I started to supplement with salt, and what I recommend is that you consider 1 teaspoon 30 minutes before you train. Okay, one teaspoon, or sorry, let's back up half. Half a teaspoon. Okay, half a teaspoon. And what I do is I'll use either, let's see, let's just do this, Celtic or Redmond's, or it's Redmond, which is real salt. It's called Redmond Real Salt. So Redmond Real Salt is pink, and it has a lot more trace minerals in it. The Celtic salt is really high in magnesium, and you're going to find out that when you're low in sodium, you're typically going to have problems with magnesium. And what I learned about reading this book was also how and I don't know if it's been proven, the book's about 2 years old, but it was a hypothesis that researchers had that when someone was low in sodium, that they would literally start pulling those minerals from their bone. And there was some good evidence that that's what was happening. I don't know if it was 100% confirmed, but that was what they were saying, that it would start to pull a lot of these minerals from the bone. So what I like to do, and what was recommended in this text was half a teaspoon 30 minutes before you exercise, and then alternating, maybe half a teaspoon of Celtic salt one day, so you're going to get more magnesium, and then the Redmond salt with the trace minerals maybe the next day, and alternating like that. Now, what I've been doing is today I consumed it was about 4,500 milligrams, so 4.5 grams of sodium, which is, the recommended allowance or recommended amounts like 2,500 milligrams, so 2.5 grams. And so I consumed a lot more, but again, I feel significantly different and better. I noticed that my vasculature, so the veins and the blood flow, basically, was also improved, and that's something that is that's really interesting that sodium will actually do. Now, some people are going to be really concerned about sodium, and so everything that I'm going to tell you here, you need to check with your doctor before you do this. However, there is, get the book, The Salt Fix, and you can read through it for yourself, and you can come to your own conclusions, and you can see if that is something that would actually benefit you to maybe look at your sodium again and increase it. I know that with people that have, the term that's often used is called adrenal fatigue, but the scientific name for it is, and the way it's referred to, is adrenal insufficiency, or a degree of adrenal insufficiency. Is where there's a problem with the adrenal glands and their output of the adrenal hormones. And one of the things that I've done and I've used with people for years is to have them to take and consume a small amount of salt, maybe half a teaspoon, in the morning, first thing, with water, to help them to get going, because the salt does help them with increasing blood pressure in a lot of cases, and just improves their electrolytes, which have the sodium chloride balance, which has such a significant impact on your overall physiology. So that's something that we have used. Now, in people that are autoimmune, which I work with too, the using and consuming a lot of salt can be problematic, because it can be a trigger for autoimmune activation, especially with GI inflammatory bowel diseases like celiac, ulcerative colitis, and Crohn's. And ironically enough, those people have really difficult times absorbing, obviously, electrolytes. So one of the things that you also want to consider doing is taking some potassium at the same time. This was interesting. So I knew salt was a problem for me, and just taking salt made a big difference. This is actually number 3, so we're going to talk about number 3 next. When I was looking at MyFitnessPal, I was looking through under the nutrition section. So I keep a diary, and then basically I just log what I consume. It's very easy to do. And then I looked at my nutrition for the day at the end and I was looking back over several days, and I noticed under nutrients that my potassium was I was not meeting my potassium goals. I was not meeting the amount of potassium that I should be consuming each day, which was 3,500 milligrams. So I was not hitting that. Some days I was significantly under, and I was like, I've got to figure this out. So I've been supplementing with potassium as well, and also trying to focus on foods that are higher in potassium. So number 3, and this is really important. Why would potassium be important? Well, it's one of the reasons. Potassium, which is number 3, is the utilization of glycogen. So you have to have potassium in sufficient amounts to be able to utilize your stored blood sugar or glycogen in the muscle. So it really helps you to be able to utilize those energy stores more efficiently. So potassium is not something that you want to be low in, and many people do not meet these needs, okay, especially with potassium and with number 2, which is magnesium. Okay. So magnesium, the second thing is magnesium helps with ATP production, which is the molecule that's produced that is it's called the energy molecule. Okay. So without magnesium, you're not going to be able to produce your energy, produce ATP sufficiently. So these are major factors here that are oftentimes overlooked. And I'm guilty of that. I mean, I'm definitely guilty of that. Sometimes, you'll start taking things for granted a little bit, and these things can be significantly missed. So, if your workouts are not good, if you feel like you have low energy, these are absolutely things that you need to look at. Now, this also really helps me. I will take this half of teaspoon of the salt. I'll take it before my workout, and then after my workout, depending on how long it is, how much sweating I do, I'll take another half a teaspoon. So that's really helpful for me, and it has made a significant difference in how I feel. My energy levels and my electrolytes were not good for one thing. So supplementing, I actually supplement with salt. The magnesium I do like to use. Remember the Celtic salt, which is higher in magnesium, but I do substitute with magnesium after my training, after my workout. I'll take magnesium. And then I'll take potassium 2 times throughout the day. So I have it split up in multiple doses, but I'll take quite a bit of potassium supplementally. So this is really, really important to be aware of, because a lot of people start to feel burned out, right? They feel burned out. They're not really sure what's going on. First places to look. Okay. First places to look. So number 4, training state. So the state that you should be in when you train, and this is in my opinion, is in the fed state. That means with food, already consumed food for the day. Now, some people will talk about consuming in a fasted state, and you can consume in a fasted state. If you are looking for more fat loss, then consuming, eating in a fasted state is probably okay. But if you're really trying to build muscle, if you want the best chance to feel good throughout the workout, to be able to complete the workout and feel really good and have good energy levels and feel good when you're done, consume carbohydrates before you eat. Consume carbohydrates before you train, because this is incredibly important. Now, if I was just going to do like maybe some steady state cardiovascular training, something like really low intensity, like maybe just walking on the treadmill or walking outside for 20 minutes or so, not running, just at an easy pace, I might do that in a fasted state, and then have some food if I'm not doing my weight training right then, or if I'm not training that day. But if you're doing any type of high intensity exercise, the research and the literature has shown that this is a better way to do it, and I just feel significantly better. Listen, if you are following a ketogenic diet and you're fat adapted and you've been doing that for a long time, then and you can definitely do this. But you know, it's my opinion, and there's a lot of debate around it. But it's definitely my opinion and my personal experience that whenever I exercise, if I do not eat, I will absolutely. If I do not consume, like typically I'll consume an apple, and I'll have maybe some protein, like a protein shake, like whey protein, or I'll use like a beef protein powder before I train. If I do that, just a small apple and then some fast digesting protein, and I give myself 30 minutes before I train, I will have a much better workout. And I've been in ketosis, I've been fat adapted, and yeah, you're leaner, but you do not, in my opinion, you do not perform the same, and you do not have the same muscle mass. Now, there are people will debate that and say yes, you do, and I'm going to say that okay, there's individuality to all of that. Like there's going to be things that are going to be more beneficial to you than there are to someone else. So you have to do some trial and error, but absolutely especially for people that are trying to, just work out and get healthy and get fit, for especially like you're just, you're not trying to make it harder than it has to be, then train in the fed state. It's going to make a huge difference in your energy levels throughout the workout. You're going to be able to complete it. And when you complete it, you're going to feel better. Okay. So that's tip number 4. Tip number 5 is peri-workout supplements. Okay, so around the workout, this is really an important thing that we should discuss here. So peri-workout supplements. For peri-workout, I like to consume and take supplementation before my workout, during my workout, and then post workout. So absolutely, top priority is going to be post workout. Like that's number 1. That's your top priority is supplementing after your workout, because this is going to help with recovery, and it's going to help you to really build more muscle, increase your metabolism, and feel better after the workout. Post workout, which we'll talk about in a second, is priority number 1. Number 2 is going to be pre-workout. This would be your second priority, and then your third workout would be intra-workout, or during the workout supplementation. Okay. So what I'll do is, let's start in the order that you would take the supplementation. So pre-workout, what I do is, obviously, I'm going to take the half a teaspoon of salt. I'm going to make sure that I'm well hydrated. This is something that I should have put on here. It should have been like 6 tips. You need to be well hydrated. If you are not well hydrated, you're going to have a problem. This is, hydration is key. So when I first wake up in the morning, I should say this. So I'll do half a teaspoon of salt, right? Half a teaspoon of salt. And I'll drink usually it's about 32 ounces of water. And that's a lot for a lot of people to drink first thing. But it's not that hard for me. I've been doing it for a while, but 16 ounces, half of that would be a fantastic place to start. That's also going to help you with bowel movements. It's going to hydrate your colon, but it's going to help you. You can wash down the salt, which is not bad. And then what I'm going to do is wait about 10 minutes, and I'll mix up a pre-workout supplement. Now, this pre-workout supplement is typically a stimulant. Okay, that's just what it is. I don't feel bad about that. It doesn't make me feel bad. I don't have any kind of problems from it. So what I'll take is this. Okay, I'll take Pre-Train NRG. This is a supplement that is formulated by Designs for Health. I use a lot of Designs for Health supplements because they have incredible quality and they work very, very well. So Pre-Train NRG supports ATP production, so energy production, focus, and energy, and it definitely does that. So what this contains primarily is creatine. So creatine helps your phosphagen system, which is your system that allows you to where you draw energy from when you do like a very intense, high intensity set of let's say of an exercise. Okay, you perform an exercise at a high intensity. You're going to get about, if I'm not mistaken, about 10 seconds or so of your energy. That initial blast of energy is primarily from this this phosphagen system, which creatine helps to supply. So it also has some some nootropic effects. So it helps with mental clarity and focus. So it does have some really great benefits. Now it also has it has tyrosine, which tyrosine is something that will help with increasing acetylcholine. It has L-theanine in it. So L-theanine is a fantastic supplement for mental focus and clarity. Especially, it's also especially helpful if you're consuming caffeine. That it helps to it helps you to focus much more and not get wired from caffeine. Now, this also does contain 100 milligrams of caffeine. So in one scoop of this, okay, so a small scoop, I'll mix this into water, and I'll typically also mix in, and I don't have it on here, but I'll mix glutamine, L-glutamine in. So typically, now a lot of people are familiar with glutamine that follow me and that I've worked with, because people will use it to help with the intestinal lining and healing the gut, and it's effective for doing that in a lot of different cases. So I'll put L-glutamine in because it's fantastic for the muscles and muscle recovery. And I'll have pre-train NRG, and I'll have glutamine. Now, I'll drink that, and then I'll plan to work out within about 15 to 20 minutes. Okay. Now, what I'll do is after I drink that, I will take some branched chain amino acids. Now, I don't have those with me, but I also use a Designs for Health branched chain amino acid. And I'll take that. I'll take typically 2 scoops of these amino acids, and I'll mix them into water. I'll let them dissolve, and then as I'm working out, I'll drink the branched chain amino acids. Before I did this, I used to never use branched chain amino acids, but after I started using them, I noticed that I felt much better. My energy levels were much higher during the workout, and then when my recovery was much better afterwards. So I'll perform a lot of high intensity sets, and I have very, very high levels of exertion during the workouts. I'll sweat a lot, so it is possible. And I have worked out before where I just was wiped out afterwards, which means I overdid it. When I started using strategies like using branched chain amino acids, which, by the way, amino acids are just the building blocks of proteins. So it's a protein that you would consume, right? Any kind of protein is made up of amino acids. They're linked together to make proteins. So I'll take the amino acids, which is basically like the broken down, they're the building blocks of protein, and I'll consume them during the workout, and I feel fantastic. They really help me with to energize, help me with energy throughout the workout, and then just with mental clarity. So they're fantastic for that. So that's what I would use intra-workout, branched chain amino acids. Now, post-workout, what I'm going to do is I'm going to consume some fast carbohydrates, and I'm going to consume some protein. So nothing high in fat. This is like within 30 minutes after the workout. So there's no fat, not much fat in here at all. So as for fast carbohydrates, I'll typically utilize some pomegranate juice. I like it. It has a high antioxidant value. And I'll drink pomegranate juice so that I have somewhere around 30 grams of sugar within natural sugars from the pomegranate in there, and that is designed specifically to lower my cortisol, to spike my insulin. This is one time that I'm actually going to try to intentionally raise my insulin. I'm going to take a few capsules of creatine, because that's when my muscles are going to be most primed to use it. And I'm going to utilize a protein shake here. Now, typically I'm going to use whey protein. Now, if you have whey is dairy, right? So it's derived from dairy. If you have sensitivities to whey, if it's something that you should not eat, if you've had food sensitivity testing, then don't consume whey. Maybe use something like the beef protein powder that I use, which is also available through Designs for Health. It's called Pure Paleo. It's fantastic. It's a fantastic protein. It's all their quality control is off the charts, and where they source their materials from is off the charts. But I'll have protein, and then I'll have the fast carbs. So that will help me with recovery immediately after the workout. And then typically I'll have, again, another half teaspoon of what I've been doing is a half teaspoon of salt. And those things have helped me to recover much more quickly. And I feel good again. I feel good again because I was absolutely um, in just terrible shape. I was so fatigued. I was like, what am I doing? Like I need more sleep. And no matter how much sleep I got, it didn't make a difference. But I've been outside a lot. I've been at the pool, and I've been sweating a lot that I just did not consider the increased amount of sweating that I've been doing. And I think that was one of the major things for me. So pre-workout, intra-workout, post-workout, hydration is incredibly important. I'm just drinking enough water. Here, listen, here's a simple question that you need to ask yourself. Are you thirsty throughout the day? Do you find yourself thirsty throughout the day? Okay. If you're thirsty, you're probably dehydrated. Okay, you're probably dehydrated. Your thirst is a response to lower levels of hydration. I mean, it's not something that just happens randomly. It happens physiologically because you need more fluids, you need more water. So if you're finding yourself thirsty throughout the day, you're probably not drinking enough water and you're not hydrated well enough. But your electrolytes, eating in a fed state, so eating, maybe an apple, maybe 1 scoop of protein powder in water, drinking that 30 minutes before you train. And then if you really want to enhance this, add some digestive enzymes with this. So take this, like take a digestive enzyme and then eat your apple. Chew it thoroughly. I say that, people are like, well, yeah, who doesn't chew their food thoroughly? A lot of people don't chew their food thoroughly. They gulp. So, when you take a bite, you should really chew that bite at least 30 times. 30 times, really. It's debatable, like 10 to 30, but you need to break it down. The digestion begins in the mouth, not just with the mastication and breaking down the food, but also with the mixing of the saliva and the enzymes in the saliva. And everything is beginning there. The chewing also activates cranial nerves. So you have 12 pairs of nerves that come off of the brainstem and they innervate the face, the mouth. When you're chewing, you're firing up and you're activating the brainstem through that physical action, which fires and activates your vagus nerve, which innervates, which means that the nerves go into the entire digestive tract. Chewing primes the digestive tract. Okay, it primes it, tells the body food's coming, right? So when you skip that or you gulp food, you are limiting the effectiveness, and you're not priming the gut. You're not letting the body know that the food's coming, and you're not doing a very good job of mixing your saliva and starting the digestive process. But something that you can do, and something that I often do, is I take digestive enzymes with just about every meal, at least 1 or 2, depending on how large the meal is. I'll take a digestive enzyme to help me break down the food more thoroughly, to help me have better absorption of the nutrients in the food that I'm consuming. It's made a big difference for me, and it works well. So these are the things that I've seen that really are the top reasons that people have bad workouts. It's just electrolytes. It's not having carbohydrates to fuel their workouts, and then it's not understanding peri-workout supplementation and the strategies that you can utilize. If you'll follow these strategies, your workouts will be significantly improved, like some of the best workouts you've ever had. It'll actually be enjoyable if you've been having problems with it. So if you have any questions or anything, please do ask, and I'll do my best to answer. If you're interested in joining us, we are starting our summer fitness challenge, and you can go to fitbody50.com to learn about that. But let's see what kind of questions or comments we have here. So let's see, guys. If you have any questions or comments, post them here. I'll try to answer them. Hi, Anna. Hi, Rachel. Vaughn, how you doing? Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. People are saying, yes, this explains me. Anna says, I take Seeking Health electrolytes. It gives me energy before exercise. Oh, there's one more supplement that I wanted to show you guys that is fantastic. It is an electrolyte supplement made by Designs for Health, and it's one that I'll take a teaspoon of it or so and mix it with water and drink it. The only problem with that, it has sodium, it has some potassium, some magnesium. It's a great electrolyte supplement. The only problem with it is that it kind of tastes like you're drinking. Like if it's not with something that's flavored, it kind of tastes like sweat. So it's not the best thing by itself. I mean, for me, it's not that much of a problem. I don't know. I guess I can just eat just about anything, and it doesn't. It's not like I don't have an aversion to it. Some people do. But anyway, electrolytes during your workout are fantastic. And there's a supplement. There's one that Seeking Health makes that's fantastic. That does work pretty well. But the sodium, I need to increase that significantly more than is what is available in that what is it, Electro Pure, I believe, is a supplement. But that's good. And Joanne says that she's using Seeking Health Electrolyte, which is a good one too. I do like Seeking Health's Electrolyte. It's not bad at all. Hi Anna, hope you're doing well. Yeah, before and after exercising, Joanne is saying that she also uses the Seeking Health electrolyte. I also take Seeking Health potassium with the electrolyte. Good deal, Anna. Nice work. Nice work. It really helps. I mean, a lot of people, listen, so many people are burned out. They feel burned out, and it may simply be an electrolyte imbalance. I mean, this is something that until I started looking at until I started really contemplating like what is going on, I didn't know this until I started looking at my training log and contemplating what was different. I didn't know. This is why tracking what you're doing, what you've been doing is important, because oftentimes something will change just a little bit, and your results will start to change, and you'll be like, what am I doing different? And if you're not tracking at least nutrition, if you're not tracking your workouts to see if you're, are you just not working out as much? If you're not tracking your sleep, if you're really not tracking your steps as well, because I mean that all factors in to your daily activity and calorie burn, then you don't really know. You don't have a good baseline. You don't have anything in which to reference if you're not getting the results that you feel like you should, or if something just changes, you don't feel good. So, now with what I've observed and what I'm doing, over the past 3 weeks, I think my workouts are better than I can recall, in years. And that's really, really important. That makes a significant difference in my quality of life. And I think it will with you too, if you're having any of these issues. But a lot of people don't have they don't feel motivated. And it's not just with working out, but it typically working out feels like it's this burden because it's not enjoyable, because they don't feel good. So, it's something that you really need to look at and consider if you're having these issues. So let's see. Hi, Rhonda. Good to see you too. Protein shake. So Mindy says, I can't drink the BCAAs with just water. Have to put them in my protein shake after my workout. So are you using the same ones that I'm using? The Designs for Health branched chain amino acids. I think they're orange flavor. I don't know how those would go with a protein drink, but obviously I guess it's better than plain. I don't mind them, if I dilute them properly, and even if I put some ice into the drink, it's perfect. Like it works really well for me. But I understand, again, like I can really probably eat just about anything or drink just about anything, and it not bother me. Let's see, Joanne. Joanne says that she's finding she performs better in the late afternoon. She's been using a lot of the supplementation. They're all working really well. Yeah, it's amazing the difference that utilizing a few supplements around your workout and changing your nutrition up, how much of a difference it can make in how you feel. So, I'm really proud of you, Joanne. Good job. I mean, what I tell people is like, look, just experiment with it. Just consider trying, utilizing some of these supplementation strategies and see how you do. You definitely don't have to do these things. I mean, if you feel fantastic, you don't have to do those things, but they definitely are helpful. I would say, I would say salt is obviously not necessarily a supplement, but I think we do need to, a lot of us need to increase that in our diet. I just, I know that the pre-training supplements help me out quite a bit. The protein powder. I mean, protein powder is probably the top priority. If I said, "Hey, there's one supplement that you can have," I'd probably use protein powder only. I will say this: I do utilize Designs for Health like a multivitamin. I do take additional vitamin D, and I do utilize essential fatty acids as well. So I use almost all Designs for Health. Occasionally, there are a few other supplements that I'll use, but I won't get into that now. There's just I use cordyceps mushrooms to improve. I almost feel like I have I don't know, like I can just keep going with my exercises when I use cordyceps. That's probably for another video, but I will use cordyceps. I'll use lion's mane pre-workout in a liquid, and then I will sometimes use Acetyl Flow, which is a supplement made by Apex Energetics, which is amazing as well. So several of those things are also available, but this is enough. I mean, this will really help people feel great and get much better results. So let's see. Mindy says that the paleo protein powder is good stuff. It tastes great. Yeah, I like it too. I mean, I really do think it tastes good, and I'm not just saying that. I mean, it's fantastic. Also better late afternoon. Yeah. So, timing when you work out is also important. Testosterone levels are going to be higher around like 9 a.m., but your coordination and your fine motor skills, you're going to be at a more of a peak in the afternoon, like 4 p.m., 5 p.m. So that's a good time. I don't mind that workout time either. I think that's a good time to exercise. Okay, so let's see. Joanne's liking the intermediate resistance band program. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, I've got, we have 3 resistance band programs. We have the beginner resistance band program, which is really just to orient you to resistance bands. Then we have the intermediate, which is the torch resistance band program, which is a good program. I really do like that program. And then we have the Resistance Band 50 or RB50 program, which is the advanced program. And that's the program that I'm currently doing. And I really do enjoy and like that program a lot as well. I'm working on developing a few other resistance band programs and putting together a list of the different types of bands that I like and that I prefer, because I have the resistance bands that have the handles. You can just, it's the tube with the hooks on the end and you can attach a handle. But I also have the loop bands that are a complete, it's a total circle. And I like it's a full loop. It's not, it's not disconnected anywhere. It's all connected. And those work really well for certain exercises too. So there's different variations that you can do, but all of our programs right now are designed and programmed with using the traditional resistance band where you put handles on the end. But I am developing 2 additional resistance band programs right now that I'm working on. So, I love the way that they make me feel. Like, I didn't think that resistance bands could be so effective, but I get a really great workout from it, especially if I focus on the negative portion of the movement, where you're kind of like letting the weight back down or giving back. There's a lot of different examples I could give, but it works really well for the negative portion of most movements. Yeah, so Joanne's likes MyFitnessPal and how it breaks down the nutrients. And is just starting the journal. You are welcome. Is one that you recommend the orange flavor? I can only put like a quarter of a scoop of the BCAAs. I figure it's better than nothing. Yeah, it's better than nothing. Mindy, what I would do is I would try to take a scoop of it and put it in 16 to maybe 24 ounces of water and mix it up really well, and then put ice in there and then try to drink it that way if you can. See how that goes. It's not awesome, but it's not terrible. It's doable. So anyway, those are all the questions that we have, but I do appreciate you guys. If you have any questions, do let me know. If you want to start any of our programs, go to fitbody50.com. You can join our summer fitness challenge where you can win a supplementation package. You get a full year of our Optimized Life membership where you save 35% off of all supplements. So that includes like the Designs for Health supplements that we have available. So you can't buy any of the supplements cheaper anywhere. So the program itself will save you money on supplements alone. I mean, it's cheaper than the cost of the membership. But I do appreciate everyone. If y'all have any questions, please do let me know. And I've got several other videos planned for you. Hopefully, I won't be holding the microphone next time. But I do appreciate everyone. Hope it sounds all right. And talk to you all soon. Hope you have a wonderful night. Thanks.